All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. Right here, we are joined by Orange County, California Zone. That's right, we got Mike from the iconic band Chaser. These individuals have been doing their thing for 20 plus years and still going strong. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
What's up, man? Doing really good. Hi, Dave.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, Mike, I've been a huge fan of Chaser for a long time, man. So it's an honor to be able to actually say that I actually have Mike from the iconic California-based band on my radio station, man. So thank you so much for a bit of your time. I think we lost audio there for a second. Can you still hear me, Mike? I can see you, but I can't hear you, unfortunately. There we go. I still can't hear you, no. One sec. Well, sorry, guys, technical difficulties. I can't hear you, no. Shit. It might help if maybe if you actually I think you can still hear me, so if you can just maybe like back out of the like close your whole browser down and kind of reload back in, that might help. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. We were talking perfectly fine, can hear one another perfectly fine. Then when we go live, all hell breaks loose. You gotta love technology, right? Hope everyone's having a great night. It is like 8:34 here in Prescott. Hope everyone's having a great night.
All right, how about now?
Perfect. I can hear you great.
All right. Technology, it's so cool, but it never works when you need it to.
Exactly, man. I was just telling the audience we were chatting backstage before we went live. Everything sounded great, and the moment you go live, that's when everything goes haywire. It won't go haywire before you actually start doing what you need to do.
Exactly. But anyway, man, like I said, or like when I cut out, I'm really happy to be here, dude. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for everybody out there for listening. And yeah, man, just happy to be here.
And jumping right into it, Mike, I got to take you back to the beginning of Chaser, and I have to ask, what actually made you guys? How did you guys actually first meet? And of course, what actually got you guys all to come together as one to form this band back in the early 2000s?
Yeah, great question. I was in high school, and it was '97. You know, that's when I was a freshman in high school, and that's when I first had my first introduction to punk rock. My friend handed me a couple compilation CDs, and they were Punkorama 3, Deep Thoughts from Nitro Records, and Survival of the Fattest, the Fat Records comp. And like, it just totally changed my whole world. Like, I just became obsessed with punk rock. It became a passion, and I had to learn how to play it. So I never played guitar before. Bought a used guitar off my buddy and just taught myself how to play power chords. And next thing you know, I was playing, No Effect songs and Offspring songs and Green Day songs, and that kind of led to learning how to write my own music. And then that's when I was like, okay, I got to start a band and just play this music, play punk rock. So that's how it started. Just a strong love and passion for punk rock music, and the desire and motivation to create it on my own.
And also as well, I actually saw via Discogs that you guys were actually featured on a Scratch Magazine compilation record actually titled What Can You Expect for Free Volume 14, and then of course other volumes that you guys are a part of as well. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about how your song Battle Cry ultimately landed on Scratch Magazine.
Oh man, wow, that was a long time ago. That's crazy. Let's see. Scratch Magazine was a local zine. I think they had put it out for free at like all the local venues and record shops and stuff. And there was an ad. I remember seeing an ad in there saying, "Get your music on our compilation." And so I submitted it. At the time, we only had that first recording that's completely out of print now. It was basically just like a home garage demos, and Battle Cry was one of the songs. And they wrote back it was email at the time, and they said, "Yeah, submit a song." So we chose Battle Cry. Man, that's a good pull though. That's a deep cut. That's an old school, like really old school. I don't think 95% of our fans or people who know us even know that song, because it was on a burnt CD, and then once they're gone, they're gone.
I'm pretty sure some of the OG fans definitely have their hands on that, and they're keeping it right tight and very secure. So
No.
I'm pretty sure there's some still out there.
It's on Bandcamp, I believe. It's called Garage Years, and that was like a compilation of all of our first demos and garage recordings and stuff. So yeah, you can find that on our Bandcamp if you look it up.
And with Scratch, I was gonna say with Scratch,
that was our first kind of big kind of, not break, but I think we were on there with like Good Riddance and I think Dropkick Murphys and Millencolin. So that was like a huge deal for us. Like, oh my gosh, we're on a compilation with all these bands that Scratch comp. So that was really cool.
And I do know as well, you guys were on many other compilations as well. Did you guys resubmit to get on those, or did Scratch Magazine just hit you up and be like, "Hey, you guys did phenomenal on number 14. We want to put you on these other ones"? Like, how did you guys get on the other ones? Was it pretty much the same, just as the same route you guys went the first time, or did Scratch ultimately put you guys on themselves?
I think once we established a relationship with them, they kept in contact with us, and after they put like a couple volumes out, then they'd ask us again. So you can't be on like the same subsequent volumes, but like after a few go by, then they'll hit you up, like a couple versions later. And yeah, so I think we ended up doing at least 3 or 4 Scratch compilations for sure.
And also as well, the following year in 2003, you guys actually released the 9-track album titled In Control. I was wondering, what is the story actually behind that legendary album? And of course, do you guys have any plans to actually re-release that as like a 20-plus year anniversary edition?
We thought about doing it for 20 year anniversary. Great question again, by the way. That's we never ever get asked about anything like prior to Sound the Sirens, or even like Numb America. Nobody really talks about too much just because it's so old school, but especially In Control. So we were thinking about doing a 20-year anniversary of it. That would have been 2023, but we just hadn't put out. We just started recording our new album, which is coming out in a couple months. So we didn't really want to have to like squeeze it in, right before this new album. So there is definitely talks of re-releasing it, at least repressing it on vinyl, limited copies. But we weren't able to do it for the 20-year anniversary. But it's something we're going to think about doing for sure after all the promotion for this new record kind of fades out a little bit. So maybe next year.
And the one song I still love off this album, man, is actually "The Sky's the Limit," man. One of my favorite songs off In Control.
Oh, radical! That was definitely a crowd favorite for a long time when we used to play songs off that album. That was definitely one we would play every night, and people would scream, "The sky is falling!"
Yeah, man, it's such a killer song, man, and it's great to actually just hear your guys' evolution throughout the years as well, from In Control, just all the way up through your guys' albums, man. You guys still have that, like, punk rock sound, but you could hear the evolution of your guys' band at the same time, man. It's such a killer thing to listen to. Go back, listen to In Control, and just go through the years, and you guys still sound the same, but yet you can hear, like, just the evolution of Chaser, man. It's so killer.
Cool, I appreciate that. We always try to, as bands always say, we always try to stay true to our roots, and keep the same energy and I guess, style, which for us it's like melodic skate punk. You know, it's high energy, catchy chorus. You know, melodic vocals, catchy hooks, things like that. But as we grow older, you know, we evolve a little bit too. But we always try to stay true to the foundation of our music, which is that, you know, high energy, catchy skate punk. So yeah, got to keep it real, you know.
Most definitely. And also in 2005, you guys actually teamed up with False Alliance over at Felony Records to actually release the split 7-inch record. To release a split 7-inch record that was actually self-titled just Chaser. I was wondering, how did yourselves and False Alliance actually get connected? And of course, what was it like just working with them on this particular vinyl?
That was all through Felony Records. So our good friend Ron McIntyre, he owns Felony Records. He saw us at, I think, when we played with Guttermouth in the South Bay, like in the early 2000s. And he's from the South Bay, which is just south of Los Angeles. It's like Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, kind of, you know, where Pennywise, Descendants, Circle Jerks are from. So we played up there. He saw us, and he was getting ready to put out that False Alliance, a False Alliance demo. But then he saw us, and he's like, "Dude, let's do it together." You know, because they only had a few songs. We only had a few songs at the time, so it made sense to do like a split 7-inch where we get a side and they get a side, and that's really cool because they became friends of ours, and we actually, after that came out, we did a West Coast tour with them, and that was like our first actual official tour as a band, was supporting that 7-inch. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, and that was all through Felony Records.
If you only ask me, what is actually one of your most fondest memories of that tour? Because if that was your very first tour, you must have had a wild ride during that entire tour.
Yeah, definitely. Man, we were young. We were in our early 20s. You know, no responsibilities, so we were getting rowdy every night for sure. There was definitely a lot of partying going on. But I think like the most memorable thing for me is we played 924 Gilman Street on that tour, which is a really iconic, historic venue in East Bay, San Francisco East Bay. Yeah, so you know about Gilman Street? Like have you heard of that club?
I've heard of it, yeah. Obviously never been there. I'm way out in Canada, but I've definitely heard of it.
Yeah, for sure. So Gilman Street is just an iconic venue where Op Ivy got their start, and Rancid and Green Day. So it's kind of like almost like a rite of passage to be able to get booked there and to play there. So I'd say that was probably the coolest thing, the best memory for me of that tour. Most definitely.
I gotta say, it definitely sounds like a killer memory. I mean, at the end of the day, you getting to play on the same stage where Green Day and Rancid actually got their start, man. I don't know, that's just a punk rock. That's a punk rock dream, in my honest opinion.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yep, we took all the pictures, all you know, in front of the venue and on the stage, and all the places where you know all the other bands took their iconic photos. So it was pretty cool. It was like I said, kind of like a milestone, you know, pivotal moment for us. So yeah, it was good times for sure.
And also as well, I don't want to make this all about albums, but one of my favorite albums that you guys actually released that I have to ask about, because if I get off this interview and I don't ask about this, I'm going to regret it. February 16th, 2010, you guys actually dropped your second studio album that consisted of 12 songs called The Big Picture. I was wondering, could you tell us the story actually behind this amazing album? And of course, is it actually still out there to be streamed or purchased today?
It is not. It's out of print, and that's another one we might reprint. But yeah, so that was a time where we were kind of like, we were older and more mature. So if you listen to the album, it's a little more polished, a little more produced. The lyrical content is a little more heartfelt. I just became a dad, so I wrote songs like My Promise and More Than You Know and stuff, kind of for my daughter. And it was kind of like from 2006 when Numb America came out to 2010, you know, like just kind of did a lot of personal growth. So I don't want to say like became more mature, but you know, I was in my 30s at that point, so just more personal growth happened in those years that we were writing for that album. So the album itself is a little more, I guess, mature than the rest. We wanted to kind of take a different approach and still, again, stay true to our roots and keep it melodic skate punk. But the lyrical content's a little bit different. It's a little more heartfelt, a little more emotional. Kind of wore heart on our strings on that one, and we tried some new stuff. It was at a point in the band's career where we're like, well, let's, we've done the raw skate punk. Let's try to add some different elements. So we did some synthesizer, we did some strings, we did an acoustic song. So yeah, that was just a time in our lives where we wanted to experiment a little bit and kind of write a very heartfelt, kind of more emotional album. Yeah, so that's what the big picture is all about.
And it's crazy to think as well that album is actually turning 15 years old next year, man. It feels like 2010 was yesterday, man. I don't know. It's just,
dude, for real. Yeah, and like my daughter that I'm talking about that was born when I was writing it, she's almost 18 years old now, so 17 and a half. So it's time just is fleeting, man. It flies by. So yeah, thanks for asking about that album. It's if there's any album that's in our catalog that's a little bit different than the rest, it's that one. But again, it's just because of the period of time in our lives that we wrote it. So it's kind of unique in that aspect.
and especially as well when bands like yourselves actually kind of do more unique stuff on their albums too. It's also to kind of spice up the band a little bit as well, because if you're doing the same thing for so many years, after a while it could potentially get dry, or you guys could get sick of doing the same type of material. So it's always good to spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's very true. That's one of the things that I think burns bands out, is just doing the same thing over and over again. It's you gotta do something, add some elements to make it fun and keep it fresh. Whether that's in the live arena or with your audio recordings. For us, we don't do the band full time. We all have careers. I'm a firefighter. Our drummer's a firefighter. Our guitarist is a math teacher, high school math teacher. So for us, what keeps it fresh and fun is that it's not something we do every single, it's not something that we, our entire lives revolve around. It's something that we can kind of consider a hobby. It's more than a hobby, because it's taken on a life of its own for sure. But it allows us to, take time away from our careers and stuff. And, every summer we're fortunate we get to go to Europe and Canada, and we get to travel the world and meet fans all over the world through Chaser, through the band. So yeah, if you're doing the same thing day in, day out, it becomes kind of repetitive and more kind of like a job. So like you said, artists either have to add different elements to keep it fresh, or for us, we kind of treat it more as a hobby and for fun. We do this because we love punk rock, and we have so much fun doing it. So yeah, just find out what works for every band. Has to find out what works for them,
And also as well, you guys are also currently signed to Canada's own Thousand Islands Records out in Montreal, Quebec. I was wondering, how did you guys actually get discovered by them? And of course, what is it like just working alongside Thousand Islands Records?
They're great. We consider them family now. Cynthia and Bruno are the best in the game. They're so professional, super easy to communicate with, which is really important to us. And they're very smart. They're very smart label owners. Let's see. I think we got connected with them shortly after Sound the Sirens came out. I think we played a show in Canada, in Quebec, in 2018, and I think that's where we first met them. Yeah. So we played a festival called Music for Cancer in St. Therese, Quebec, Canada, and they're tied in pretty well with that festival. They have their booth there, their Thousand Island Records booth, and we just we got to meet them and know them and establish a relationship. And then our next album was put out on their label. Dreamers was on Thousand Island, and now our new one, Small Victories, is also with them, because we love them so much, and we love what they do, and they're great teammates.
And also as well, Friday, April 19th, 2024, you guys will be taking the stage at the Tiki Bar, where you guys are going to be playing your most recent album that's already out right now in its entirety from front to back. I was wondering, what can we actually expect from this up-and-coming show? And of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some tickets to come out and see Chaser live in full effect next month?
Nice, man. Yeah, thanks for promoting or for pumping that show. It's an important show for us. It's a hometown headlining show, and since we are getting ready to put out our new album, we wanted to kind of do something we've never done before with Dreamers, and that's play it from front to back. We've always played, since it's come out, we've always played many songs off it, but we've never played the entire thing at a single show. So we thought that would be kind of a cool thing. And it also happens to be the 3-year anniversary of it too. It came out in April of 2021. So 3 anniversary, and kind of phasing out the Dreamers era to the new album. We thought that'd be a cool opportunity to play it front to back at that show. There is a ticket link. Maybe when we post this interview, we can include the ticket link, but yeah,
Definitely.
fans in Southern California, that'd be great if you come out, get some pre-sale tickets, and that's our favorite thing is playing live shows, because we just are high energy band and everybody has a great time, and it's nothing but smiles and high fives and good vibes. So come out and see us.
And I know you mentioned briefly as well a few moments ago, but your guys' new album that's actually gearing up to be released is actually going to be dropping June 28th of 2024. Called Small Victories. I was wondering, what can the fans actually expect from this new Chaser album? And of course, are pre-orders available right now? And if so, where can we actually go online to actually pre-order ourselves a copy of this album? Because if it's going to be anything like your other albums, I know it's going to be flying off the shelves, man. So people better pre-order it if it is available.
So it's not available for pre-order yet. It's we're going to set the date. It's going to be mid-April is when pre-orders are going to start. We're going to definitely pump social media so everybody will know. And you're right, man. We have some really, really cool vinyl variant colors that kind of play off the album artwork. So you could expect some really cool vinyl variants. And yeah, our fans are so awesome and so rad, because they'll buy, they love the whole complete set. So I definitely recommend once pre-order starts, jumping on that for sure. But yeah, like I said, we're definitely going to let everybody out there know the exact date. So it'll be mid-April. The first single is dropping April 2nd, and then a couple weeks after that, we'll start pre-order.
Hey, well, once that single drops April 2nd, I will make sure to place that into the 99.9 FM station's rotation and get it some airplay as well.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. That'd be really cool. Yeah, it's a cool song. Yeah, for sure.
But I have to ask, aside from the Tiki Bar show coming up next month, and of course the album slated to actually drop in June, what is next for Chaser? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this evening's interview? Anything else you still want to touch on, talk about, or promote? We still got you here live on 99.9 Punk World Radio FM tonight.
Let's see. So today we just announced our European tour schedule. All of our European dates, which run from mid-July through early August. And yeah, I guess after the Tiki Bar show, we're just going to kind of focus on promotion for the album and then hit the ground running once it's released. I think we leave to Europe like 2 weeks after it drops. And then we have plans to go back to Canada, later in the summer. And we're even talking about Japan later this year as well. So, yeah, we're really excited, man. This is one of the most exciting things for a band, is releasing new music, because so much goes into it. Like, it's literally a 3-year process from the time you start writing new songs to rehearsing them, to pre-production, to actual recording of the album, to all the promotion on the back end after the album's already recorded that a lot of people don't ever think about. Everything from music videos to getting your songs properly registered so they can go to all the digital platforms, to album artwork, to merchandising. There's a lot from this point to when the album comes out. There's a lot for us to do. So we're going to play that show in April, and then just kind of focus on getting the album out, and then we'll tour for it, support it.
Yeah, man, recording the album is the fun part, but once you get to the business aspect, like the SOCAN and like the BMI, it's just like, oh my god,
Exactly.
like
Yep.
your brain starts to bleed, man. Like it's just
100%.
definitely a process.
Oh my gosh, so much back and forth with ASCAP and BMI and
Yeah.
the song encryption, so that so that they end up on all the digital platforms and stuff. So CD Baby, all that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
There is, yeah. I mean, especially like back in the day, a lot of the times the labels just took care of that back in the day when you were signed to a big label. But now a lot of people are independent, so pretty much the band are like the producers, the bands are the freaking record labels. So like, you guys have all these jobs in one. A lot of people think you just pick up the guitar, the drumsticks, the bass, and just there you go, the album's done. But no, there's a heck of a lot more that goes into it, man. It's a lot of business logistics.
Yeah, 100%. And we're a very hands-on band, so we kind of put the burden on ourselves, but it's because we're very I don't know, we're just very professional about it. So we want to make sure everything's perfect according to us, and yeah, so we take on a lot of the responsibilities for sure.
Hey, and Mike, before we part ways here tonight, man, obviously I know how to follow you on social media, but for individuals that might just be discovering this interview right now, how can they go about following yourself and the rest of Chaser across all social media platforms if they're not already doing so? But you guys are a legendary punk rock band, and you are watching a punk rock interview, so I'm hoping that follow button has already been smashed, but just in case, where can we actually find you guys?
Yeah, thanks, man. So first and foremost, I'd say our homepage, which is chaserpunkrock.com. That will get you to wherever you want, whether it's our social medias, our YouTube, ticket links for all of our upcoming shows, both local and abroad, merchandise. So chaserpunkrock.com is our homepage. Other than that, all you Facebook users, you can find us under Chaser Band. Instagram, we're under Chaser Punk, and our YouTube is Chaser Punk as well. So yeah, get out there, find us if you haven't already, and if you're just now hearing about us, it's perfect timing because our brand new album is coming out very soon, and it's our best yet, 100%. So we're very excited for you guys to hear it.
I gotta say, first and foremost, Mike, thank you so much for giving not only myself, but the radio station airways a bit of your time, man. Definitely tear the roof off the place at the Tiki Bar next month, and of course, super stoked to hear you guys have another album dropping in June. We definitely shall talk soon, but for now, Mike, have yourself a phenomenal night out there in California.
Thanks so much, man. I sure will. That was a great interview, dude. Thanks so much for all the doing your homework and for all the great questions. That was awesome. Take care, guys.
Hey, man, you're most certainly welcome. I'll always try my best, man. Have a good one.